Hello, my family. So, this is definitely one of them coffee days. I had started a video with you and accidentally hit the wrong button, so this is take number 2, just so you know. But in take number 2, I'm going to get you caught up to where I'm at. This video is going to be teaching you how to make homemade tortillas. Now, what I am currently making for the Mediterranean style and for a more healthier version for me, I am using whole wheat flour. I'm using the gold medal whole wheat flour. You can choose to do half and half all purpose, half whole wheat, or all purpose flour for this one. Before I get into this recipe, because I am fixing to give this recipe to you and catch you up to where I'm at thanks to my big mistake. So I had to have that coffee. So what I am doing right now is I am going to be making 3 videos for you today, all basically towards supper tonight. Why would I go through the process of doing all of this just for one meal? Because technically I can do this for more than one meal. Today I will be doing 3 videos, one on making homemade tortillas, one on making homemade mozzarella cheese, and one using the rotisserie chicken, now, which is supper tonight. So what I had done in the community, for those who are subscribed, you got to see the finished product of what our rotisserie chicken was like. It was literally done in a baby George Foreman, which I have had for so many years. I actually need an upgrade one, but this little bitty thing still works. I just can't put a whole really big chicken. I'd love to get one where I could put a turkey and have a rotisserie turkey, because they're amazing. But anyways, I used my own homemade rotisserie seasoning. This was not purchased from the store, and we are going to be using that towards my husband's low carb tortillas, quesadillas. We are making quesadillas, so I am having a Mediterranean style quesadilla, and he is going to have a low carb, and I am going to be showing you both those methods today. So in the process of doing the tortillas, I went to go hit pause button and I hit the cancellation button. So let me get you up to date. I have in a glass bowl, I have 3 cups of flour. I again am using whole wheat. Use the flour of your choice, but you need 3 cups. The same method as always, you flow, scrape, pour in your bowl. With that dry mix, I'm using 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I used Himalayan sea salt. This recipe will be in the description. I'm just catching you up. I used 1 stick of unsalted butter. Now, if you use salted butter, cut down the salt in the amount that you're putting into your flour mix. So I used unsalted, cut it up in sections, along with 1 cup of hot water. So here's what I did. I took a cup of water in a measuring cup, cut my stick of butter in pieces. I put it in my microwave for 1.5 minutes until it was nice and warm. I started mixing up the flour mix first. There is no baking soda or baking powder in this. We're going to try it without it. They say it's really not necessary. It doesn't make a difference. So I am actually using just the 2 dry mixes, mixed them together, took the hot water and butter, slowly adding it to my mix because it is hot. I started with the spatula first until it started getting thicker, and eventually used all of that water butter mix until I incorporated it. Now, it was very sticky in the beginning in my bowl, so I had to knead it for 5 minutes to get the glutens activated and be able to get all the pieces in my bowl clung to it. I then took it out of my bowl and kneaded it an additional 5 minutes to make a smooth dough to work with. Now, with that, you can use a KitchenAid if you did not want to do the rolling, kneading, and all that. I tend to use the old-fashioned kneading method because, number one, I want to feel the texture. I want to feel the change that it goes through when the glutens activate, and to me it's very therapeutic. I'm not much of a modern day person. There are times I have tried, really have tried, and just certain items, I just like bread making, I have to feel that dough. There's just something about me. So where we're at now is I have done my 10 minutes total of kneading this dough, and now I am fixing to cut it in 15 to 16 pieces. And what I'm going to be doing is taking individuals pieces, turning them into a ball, and now we are going to let this rest after that for 30 minutes. So this is where I'm going to take you to where we're at. I'm done with the kneading part. Now we're going to make the little balls, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So let's go back to the kitchen and try this for take 2. Okay, my family, so here we are. Here is our beautiful dough. Now, for this being whole wheat, this came out absolutely amazing. There are 2 ways you can actually cut this down into what you need. Number one, the most general thing is they'll just cut it off in pieces like so, and then they'll have their individual balls. I tend to want more of a format to know that I'm doing this right. So I'm actually going to set this aside. I'm going to mix this back in, knead this in actually. And then I am going to use a pastry cutter, and I'm going to cut this into, flatten it down some, and cut these into my pieces so I know that I get the right amount of cuts. So I am going to go get my pastry cutter. I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to cut this directly in half and then section it off to where I can get my 16 pieces. And if I wanted to, I could sit here and actually weigh each one. That to me is just a little bit too much, so I tend not to do that. So this is good enough for me. And now I'm going to take each one of these and put these in half and go from there. Now as I go along, what we're going to do is take this, fold them up in each other here, and do this. You seem awful small for that to be able to get out what they're saying I'm going to need. So some of these look a little bit more fatter, so once I go through, I'll see who needs a little bit more here and there. But that's what I'm just going to be doing here, is just taking each one, cutting each one in half here, making up my balls here, because they say that I need to roll this out 8 to 10 inches rounds. Go ahead and do this. I'm just folding these into each other like so, as you see here, and then just rolling it into my hand, forming a nice ball. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these, and once I get this done, I will be back after the 30-minute rest point, because after I get these made, I'm going to be letting these rest. So once that resting point is done, we will come back and we will start making these homemade tortillas. Okay, so these are now sitting on the 30-minute rest, and we have all 16 wrapped up in a ball. One thing I did forget to say, and I want to make sure that you know, we have one request out of yesterday's video. God bless you. You had such a sweet response, and you touched me very well. I will tell you that I have had chicken shawarma before, and it is an amazing dish. There are several ways that you can make that. This beautiful person had asked me for my first challenge if I would do a dish using chicken shawarma and teach or show how to make it. I am completely honored to do so. I am going to take your challenge because I happen to love it very much, and it is a big part of the Mediterranean dishes. So I'm debating right now if I want to do a chicken shawarma wrap or if I want to do a chicken shawarma bowl, because both are equally amazing. So next week there will be for our first video, and I will label it Food Around the World. That is going to be our first video for the Food Around the World challenge. Thank you, and God bless you, sweetheart, because you just got chosen and you made me smile. So I will be back as soon as our 30 minutes is up on these tortillas, and we will start forming them, making them, and getting ready for tonight's supper. Now these videos will be broke down in 3. This is one of 3. So as soon as these are finished, I will be back and we will go ahead to proceed to make tortillas from here. Okay, y'all, so I have an electric skillet heating up to 375 degrees. In the meantime, I'm going to take my little tortillas. We're going to get ready to roll these out. To be able to keep this as much as I can in one direction, or rounded as much as possible, I'm going to try to do this in one direction. It's not working too great, but I need to get at least 8 to 10 inches. I don't think in this batch here, I might end up just taking this and making 8 instead of 16 out of these. I don't know, we'll keep going here because it's supposed to be really thin. So let's see what we can do and see what we can get out of it. And just keep rolling this out like this. They're rolling out beautifully though. Turn it over like so, and then we'll keep going with this. Yep, I guess we can get this out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish rolling this out, and then I'm gonna turn this around and show you how we're actually going to make these tortillas. So we'll be right back. Okay, so our skillet is now preheated. We're going to take our tortilla, and just like the pita, we're going to lay this in here for the first 30 seconds. You're going to watch for the bubbles. Now we're going to take it and flip it over. Again, we're going to watch for the bubbles, and I'm going to get a clean towel so I can keep these warm once they come out of here. This side stays in, they stay on there for about a minute. I'm going to try to keep these from getting too cooked because we want to keep them nice, soft, and pliable. So, take and flip it over again. Oh, yeah, I can start to see some bubbling coming up in these, and that's all we do. I'm starting to puff up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this on the rest of the 15 tortillas that we have. Once this is finished, I will bring you back and show you what the final looks like. So right now this one here is about cooked, and once it cools off a little bit, I'll show you what they will look like and how soft and pliable these really are. So we'll be back. And we are on our last tortilla, so I'm going to do a recap on this last one. We're going to roll this out pretty much really thin. We want to get this at least 8 to 10 inches round. In the meantime, I'm back and forth on these. I'm basically rolling out one while one is cooking. I put one in there, waited 30 seconds, flipped it around, wait 1 minute, flip it around again. And when I tell you the results of these, Lord have mercy. Now I know I have tried a lot of store-bought whole wheat things on the market, and very few have I liked. Whole wheat basically has a kind of a strong flavor, and I was kind of skeptical when I done these tortillas due to the fact is whole wheat can be kind of a strong flavor. But I am going to tell you, I couldn't have been more wrong on these. If I would have never thought how these tasted. So I will be giving you that review. So in the meantime, we're just going to continue to keep rolling this last one out. And as you see, they are really thin. Almost see-through thin. But they come out really nice when you cook them. So I just roll this out a couple times. I'll take it, roll it, and then I'll flip it and roll it out again till it's thin, stretching it out basically. Go ahead and flip this one over again. I'll do this one more time, and this should be big enough for what I need. Put it out here. I was doing it by stretching it first before putting it in the pan, but I found by doing it this way they work a lot better. So I'm just going to go ahead and just keep rolling this out till it's thin. In the meantime, that one there is about done, and this one will go in the skillet. I will turn you around and show you how we do that to this last one, and then I will show you the end product. Okay, so we put our tortilla in here and we wait for about 30 seconds, and basically what it is it will keep it from, when you know it's no longer sticking to the pan, you've pretty much done your 30 seconds, plus there'll be some bubbles up on top. Once that's done, take it and flip it around. Now this can be hot, so use a pair of tongs if you want to. So now I wait for about a minute on this, and then I'm going to flip it around again. Now I am very careful because these are thin. I don't want it to cook too much. That's why we are set at 375. I try to keep an eye on it and flipping it back and forth. I want to keep them pliable, not crispy. But these, wow, these are absolutely blow my mind tortillas, and I can't wait to tell you what I learned from these. Go ahead and flip this again. Well, see, we're getting that nice golden color on here. Now on the whole wheat, they're a little bit hard to see, but they're not impossible. I can see the coloring. I can see some of the bubbles coming up here. And these are just about finished. It's safe actually now. I can actually turn this off because the heat from this, from what has left to cook, will be finished. So I will be right back as soon as this one's finished and show you the end products. Alright y'all, so here is our final tortillas. Now I want you to see this. This is a whole stack of 16. Look how easy they just fold over. They are super soft, y'all. And then just to roll them up like so. These will make fantastic quesadillas. Now I'm going to set this up because I got something to say about whole wheat tortillas, especially this recipe. So I will be right back with you. Okay, so my take on these tortillas. Would I do this again? Oh my word, yes, yes, yes I would. They were surprisingly very mild in flavor for whole wheat. They have a beautiful buttery flavor to these. These are the best tortillas I have ever had, and even now that this one is cooled off, this is the one I did a test with. I roll them up and still watch. And it's cooled off completely. I can easily use these, I can freeze these. These will make beautiful wraps. This is a recipe I would make my go-to over and over and over again. From based on this, even if you used all-purpose flour. I'm going to tell you, if you try this recipe with whole wheat or all-purpose, you will probably never buy another tortilla at the store again. I know I won't. And look, watch how beautiful. They're just, I mean, nice, light, fluffy. Now, well, I don't know about fluffy, but they're just airy. They're flaky. They're amazing flavor. So, y'all, I will tell you, I will put the recipe below. Definitely try this recipe. Tell me what you think if you did. See if you enjoy it, if your family enjoys it. And until next time, I am going to end this video, get started getting these cooled off. Use what I need for supper tonight. The rest are going in my freezer for other meals. And we will be back with the next video, which is how to make mozzarella cheese. So until next time, much love to each and every one of you from Parton's Heritage Homestead.